Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Shuey Athletics building here at Marshall University. In a moment, our Director of Athletics, Christian Spears, will address everyone regarding the state of our athletic department as we wrap up our landmark 2023-24 season and move forward into 24-25. Following Spears' remarks, we'll have a brief Q&A session with our media. I'll be in the back of the room with a microphone, so please raise your hand and I'll come to you. We'll limit questions about 4 to 5 questions. Spears will then be followed by two integral coaches in our department. First, head men's soccer coach Chris Grassie, who will also have a few remarks, followed by a few questions as well. Athletic Director Spears will then be followed by our head baseball coach Greg Beals, who will repeat the process as the previous two speakers. We'll wrap up here at the conclusion of all three speakers, and we'll have a separate Q&A session with our media over to my right. So with that said, please welcome Marshall University Director of Athletics, Christian Spears.
Wow, thank you. That's very kind of you on such a beautiful, beautiful day, right? So, these Marshall moments are pretty special when you're able to do some things with key people who bring their families and involve them in everything that we do and announce a direction for our future that is so evident. What's happened with men's soccer, with Chris Grassie. Chris literally has gotten us to a point where we, as a community, believe that anything is possible here in Huntington, West Virginia, because of what he's done on the pitch. That belief system extends beyond the soccer field and into our community, which is so rare and so special. So I'm so excited about what we're going to announce here for Chris. And then Greg did something that we've been waiting 60 to 100 years for, some say. His fingerprints are all over that ballpark. I can tell you, as someone who was involved in building that ballpark, Coach Beals had so much to do with how it turned out, what it has become, and the symbol it means for our future and for our community, and then what he'll do with the student athletes that he serves in that venue, for the duration of the time that he's with us. And super excited about him and his extension. But let's talk quickly about the state of our athletic program. We finished 5th in the all sports trophy that the Sun Belt Conference provides to the 14 member institutions that participate in our league. And, that was up from 10th last year. So, I don't want to be 5th in anything. This community doesn't want to be 5th in anything. So we've got our work cut out for us, but you can see where we're going. We are on the rise. And so much of it is to do with the leadership of Brad Smith, our board of governors, the decisions that they made today to extend these two coaches. So if you all hang in there with us, we are going to make you so proud because we are on our way to something extraordinary. And so much of it has to do with the way this community embraces our athletic program. Some really fun initiatives that are coming back. I don't know if you guys remember This Home is Heard. We launched that our first year here together. It's just a way for you to identify that you care about where our football program is going, where our athletic program is going, and you identify that your home is heard. And we'll put a yard sign in there. Please pick those up at United Bank. They're our partner on this initiative, and display them proudly. And then we're going to come up with some really fun initiatives on how to get you all involved. The first year we had Coach Grassie deliver some tickets to some fans that pledge their home is heard. And we'll figure out other unique ways to continue that involvement. We have a really special initiative called Be Her, which is happening on July 21st. It's a First Lady initiative along with our Big Green. They are trying to do everything they can to continue the rise of our women's sports programs. And they're having a very special event with an unbelievable keynote speaker named Cindy Carlisle, a Marshall alum who ran track and field here, who's just been appointed the number 2 at Foot Locker. And just how special she is and what being a female student athlete at Marshall meant to her and her career and how it can launch other young women into similar situations. So I hope you'll find your way to the Be Her event. Football is underway and we're right in the thick of it. And, we need as many people to be involved in this program as possible. Fill the Joan. So we've done incredibly well with season tickets so far. The Ohio State game had a lot to do with it. We tagged in renew your season tickets and have an opportunity to come with us to Ohio State. We got 5,000 tickets from Ohio State. Those went quick, so our fans responded. So we're going to throw out a little quick challenge. The first 10 people who haven't purchased their season tickets, we're going to put you in a drawing to join us at Virginia Tech. We'll make that a really special experience. So I hope you'll find your way online to buy football season tickets. And Ryan, Chris will let us know who won that first 10 call, and we'll go from there. Men's soccer, we've added 250 seats to our venue, not just to manage the 7-year contract extension for Chris Grassie, but because this community cares so holistically about that program. We had 5 sellouts last year, and we expect that to continue. And we want more fans to see the program that Chris has built, that we are building together, that's going to be so special for us for so long. Hopefully you can do that. And, women's soccer is on the rise with what Rafa and one of Chris' mentees has been able to accomplish in a short period of time. New energy, new enthusiasm, new efforts, as well as our volleyball program. Those 2 programs go on sale here. It's time for us to help those programs build the fan bases that they deserve. So there's the state of the summer. And now, again, a new 7-year contract approved about 37 minutes ago by our Board of Governors, and incredibly excited to announce that Chris Grassie is going to be the head coach of our men's soccer program, continuing to aspire us in so many different ways, on the pitch and off. 2031, let's do something crazy together. I know we've got another national championship in us, maybe 2 or 3. Here he is, without further ado, Chris Grassie.
Yeah, fantastic. I think I know everybody in this room. It's going to be great to get to continue to work here, to achieve, or to try to achieve the things that we set out for. I signed this extension because I'm excited. I signed this extension because we still have a lot more to achieve. I think achieving the national championship victory was fantastic. I think we can do more, right? I think we can continue to grow the best college soccer program in the country. I think we can build soccer facilities. We can grow the stadium. We can inspire the next generation of soccer players. I've got a lot of thank yous, for this. First and foremost, my wife, Alison, for all her support. Really, me signing for 7 years is really just to keep the tailgates going and keep the community engaged. I know it's a fantastic thing that you do, and I really appreciate it. And I think we make a very good team. And basically, that's just my role these days. I've got a wonderful staff from my dad, Guga, Davi, Kyle, and then my associate head coach, Josh. My role is basically just to support these people as they do these amazing things, and maybe put them in the direction. But I get to work with amazing people every day. So there's more to come. There's so much more to come from our program. We don't see this as like resting on our laurels. We don't see this as sitting back and saying, okay, we've got a comfy 7 years. We see this as what can we do for the Huntington area? What can we do for the Marshall community? How do we bring joy? How do we bring pride here? And then we see it as a challenge. We want to redouble our efforts. We know we're going to continue to grow the program to meet the challenges of competing against the very best in the country. And so how do we step up our game? How do we get better? What do we do? What do we need to do to be better? It's an amazingly exciting time at Marshall, which is another reason I'm really happy and really thankful to sign this extension. Christian's leadership is amazing, right? He gets it. He really, really just gets it. That's the best way to describe it. It's such a difficult time in college athletics, a time of change, right? But when there's a little bit of change and a little bit of crisis, that's when, new heroes can come through. That's when new programs can rise to the top. And I feel like we are very agile and very well positioned to meet those challenges. Brad Smith, I get to say I kind of know the president because he makes himself known. He's reachable, he's friendly, he interacts, he's inspirational. Like the direction and the vision of our leaders is phenomenal. And so it's really a great time to be part of that, right? There's massive things still to be achieved, and I'm just happy to be a part of that. Have to thank Tony Stroud for his work on that contract and getting it over the line, the Board of Governors. Have to thank Deb for our guidance on the day-to-day basis. Just wouldn't be possible without everybody. Have to thank all you guys in the media for your great coverage, right? Getting our messages out there, making sure that we are seen in the community, and the community feel like they can access us because we're nothing without the Herd Nation. And so, thank you very much. Questions now? Okay. Sorry, not trying to get out of here.
Coach, just was this more of something you wanted to get done, or did the athletic department come to you first to try to make sure that they didn't lose you?
Yeah, Christian and Deb came to me about a year ago, and so we've just been talking about it then. I mean, time just seems to fly by. You know, you blink and it's another season and another season, and I had a couple of years left on my previous deal, so just kind of getting it tied up and picking a direction. And it's been good for us. You know, as a family, we've had some interesting offers, you know, to go other places and leave, but we always kind of felt like this was our home. We have a great, you know, community, great friends. Our kids are happy. They're right over there smiling. You know, it was just kind of the right decision. And then it was more seeing, okay, what are we going to do together? What are we going to do as a department? You know, with everybody's help, how can we grow? How can we make this have the best soccer training complex in the country? How do we have the best college soccer team in the country? What do we need to do to continue to be at the top? And all those things, I felt really comfortable that we're going to be able to compete. And, you know, that's all we need. Put us in the room, you know, give us a place where we can compete. We don't have to be number one, but let's get, you know, up there and you know, let's make the magic happen and see what we can do.
Luke Creasy with HD Media. How important is that transparency when you talk about, you know, wanting to be here when other offers are there and other conversations are happening? How important is that transparency with the athletic administration to make sure that you get compensated for what you want to in being here?
Yeah, I don't think it was ever sort of to those stages where I was really sort of entertaining seriously like some of the other offers. It was just, you know, here's an interesting professional pathway. Here's an interesting, you know, opportunity. A friend of a friend has been contacted by this university, and, you know, I can say, you know, we've kind of been upfront with each other from day one, and that's a big, you know, doing everything in the light is a big tenet of Christian's department, you know, so I really appreciate that. You know, for me, I think one day I don't have any nightmares, but I had a legitimate nightmare walking up, cold sweat, about having to deal with logistics at another university, trying to get training at the right time. And I kind of, from that moment on, I'm like, this is the place for me, because it's everybody works together to let's get the best results. You know, we've had this great progress with flex classes, and so we have a lot of international students, so being able to be in seat and online and manage their schedules to train and travel, where we have to travel with on, you know, Sunbelt Conference, all of our teams are traveling so much, so all of that stuff is, you know, it's great. But we do everything. You know, and Christian's super accessible. I've never had an athletic director before who's so accessible. Thank you.
Well, Chris, I wish I knew about the nightmare before the contract negotiation. That one we left out. You know, one of the things we talk about a lot is believe before it happens. And the baseball ballpark was one of those mantras. Believe before it happens. And a lot of people had lost belief. And then we got it done. And so much of it is because of Greg Beals. And, you know, Coastal Carolina's coach finished in the NCAA tournament and retired. And one of the things he brought up in his press conference was how good the Sun Belt is and how recognized it is as a baseball league. And he took a moment to talk about Marshall and the direction that we're going under the leadership of Coach Beals. And that's a guy that didn't need to do that at his last game, at his last press conference during the College World Series, but he did. And that speaks volumes, not only about Greg, but about our program, where we're going. Super excited to announce through 2029, our head baseball coach, Greg Beals.
Thank you. First of all, I want to just say it's an honor to share the day with Coach Grassie. So congratulations to you and Allie and your whole family. It's great to see family because it's so important to me. I'm not much of a podium guy. I'm blessed with Coach's voice. So, but many, many thank yous. Like Chris was saying, starts with family. My wife, Kathy. we go through so much, and our wives are there all the time. So thank you, hon. In a very short time, Marshall and Huntington, West Virginia has become home. We love it here. So when Christian came and we started talking about this, it was pretty easy from our side because we believe in what we're doing. We have found a home and we're going to do it here. And I told Christian, like, I can do everything that I want to do in this profession right here at Marshall. So I'm very grateful to him for the vote of confidence, right? Because it hasn't happened yet. There's a vote of confidence there. So I appreciate the Board of Governors and our president, Brad Smith, and their approval of that vote of confidence. I certainly have to speak about Andrew Brown, my sports supervisor, and our day-to-day work and what he does and how he helps us. And there's a vision here. We have a vision. This contract extension, in my opinion, gives me and gives this program the opportunity for that vision to play all the way out. And we won't be at a point in that process and be wondering what's going on with the leadership. So this allows that to play out. We talk about this athletic department and on the rise. Our baseball program is on the rise. We are recruiting our tails off. We have the resources now to do that, to recruit high-level athletes and have an expectation level that we can win them here. That has not been the case in the past just because of our facilities. What Jack Cook Field means to this program is there's not a measure to it. So just very grateful. This is a great place to work. I love working here. Our president, the leadership there, to Christian, and the room's filled with Christian staff. I thank all of you for the direction that you're putting us on. I'm excited about the future. We got a lot of work to do. As we talk a little bit of baseball here, we got a lot of work to do, and it starts in the recruiting process. The culture has changed. The expectation level has changed. The athletes are going to change, and this is the trajectory is happening, and it's happening at a high level. A lot of work, but my coaching staff is phenomenal. They're on it. We know what we need to do, and we're poised and excited about the opportunity to do that. So thank everybody very much. Thanks for coming. Sorry I got a little bit, but family's very, very important. Yep.
It's for Coach Beals.
To get this kind of extension just 2 seasons into that 5-year deal that you signed initially, what does that mean to you? I know you said this is kind of a vote of confidence, but could you expand on that a little bit?
Well, we won 11 games, so it's not like I don't have a star above my logo, so it's a little different scenario. And what I believe is that our administration sees what's happening, sees behind the scenes, sees the direction, sees how our student athletes are treated, what they're saying about the program, what they're saying is going on day in and day out. And winning is going to happen. Winning is a result of execute, and then we'll get to the winning. We're in the process of executing moments and getting things in the right direction. Winning is going to happen. But I think it's academically, we've made a huge stride in the last year and a half. In the community, we've made a huge stride in the last year and a half. We have made small strides on the field, and I think that's the last piece that's going to happen is the culture is changing in our program.
Coach Paul Swan, Kindred Communications. So the long-term deal gives you the ability to do things you mentioned as your vision. Does that include helping you secure recruits, knowing that you're not a short-term coach, or the administration you said gave you a vote of confidence? Does that change that dynamic and allow you to be a little bit more aggressive, knowing that you're trying to build something here and you can sell that now?
100%. I think we have 2 recruits on campus today, you know, and to be able to talk to them and say, we're doing it the right way. People believe we're doing it the right way. We're getting recognized for doing it the right way. And to be able to pat the young man on the back as we were walking out of his office as I'm heading over to a press conference saying, I'm going to be here the whole time you're here. That certainly helps. And in this day and age of transactions like recruiting, you know, the transfer portal and NIL and all the things, there's so much that goes in, and it becomes transactional at times. We're still recruiting on relationship and the idea of player development and the people that are here to support you. The other thing that it allows us to do is I want to flip. If you look at our roster's heavy on the transfer side. I want to flip that. We're probably 2/3 junior college and transfer and 1/3 high school. I want to flip those and get 2/3 high school, because I think we can develop and have sustainable success when we have growth from under, and we know these guys are going to come back, and we know what we got coming back, and we know the development, and we're not having to totally retool a ball club every season.
Roster with the transfer portal, with name, image, and likeness, how do you retain? How do you keep players 2, 3, 4 years and build those relationships? If someone has instant success, how do you make sure that they know that it might not be greener on the other side of the fence?
Well, it's really hard, and I think it goes back to that relationship. We're going to build relationships with our players, where they have a trust in us and our program. And when I say us, that's all of us. That's our entire staff, our athletic department, our administration, our strength and conditioning, our athletic training, that there's trust in our entire program. It starts with me as their head coach, that we have that, and we build that relationship so that they don't want to leave. The same thing that I said, I believe I can do everything that I want to do in this profession right here at Marshall. Our student athletes can do that too. Our guys are getting drafted. They're going to start. That's going to start happening at a greater pace. They can achieve their dream and their goals right here at Marshall. Our conference is good enough. Our facility is good enough. And I believe that my coaching staff and our leadership is good enough to keep those kids here. But there has to be a relationship. Thank you.
Any other questions before we thank you all for your attendance? Okay, peace and goodwill. Thanks for all being here.